All right. So, welcome back.
Glad to be back in the studio.
Glad to be back in the country, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm glad to be back in the country, too. Got a cool new sign behind you.
Check this thing out.
I know.
It is really cool. You know the story on that sign?
I do.
What
I didn't
is
know
it?
if you wanted to tell it yet or not.
Well, that's up to you.
No, it's up to you.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, probably not a better time to tell it than now.
Give it a rip.
Well, so we've kind of referenced this situation before. This was provided by a fan of the podcast. Is that right?
It was, yeah. Can we say it was
Yeah, I think so.
one of our third-party vendors was coming in to pitch this and had heard the podcast, and she was a really cool person. We should have her on the podcast. Yeah, I liked her a lot. So thanks for the sign. That's really, really neat. Proud to have it displayed. And I hope we get a chance to work with you sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. We do appreciate it. That was such a cool email when we got the email, and she said she was sending the sign over and had to reference the podcast, some of the quotes on it. So that always makes you feel good. I told Danielle this. It's got to be like whoever is married to Bradley Cooper. You get these emails, you get these gifts coming in. It's a lot, but I'm suffering through it. How was your international visit, though? Was you recognized internationally?
No.
Not at all.
No, you're Bradley Cooper. I'm just still Jeff. I'm struggling to get up the ladder there.
Well, I have nothing for you.
I saw a lot of famous people on this trip, though.
Did you really?
At Wimbledon. I went to a tennis match.
My
seats were incredibly good. I didn't even know they were going to be that good. Just worked out. It's funny, international events like that, World Cup, different things. The seats are really weird. That you don't know where you're going to be at exactly till you get in there. Like my seat number was 274 and 275.
Okay, so you're clearly way
I
in the
don't
back.
even know. No, I was like in the coach's box. As it turned out, I just kept going. Sarah and I were like, "What in the world's going on?"
Yeah. Do you think they were in order? Was like 321 beside you, or what was the deal?
Yeah, but the seat behind me was like 230. I don't know. Anyways. A lot of celebs there, though.
Really? Can you name any that you can?
Sure.
I wasn't sure if this was on the.
Oh, well, of course, William and Kate are right down here.
What?
Hugh Jackman's like 8 seats to my left.
Wolverine?
Andy Murray, former Wimbledon champion, like 3 rows behind me, just chilling by himself.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig's over here.
Get 007?
Brad Pitt was across the way.
Shut up. The one that let Jennifer Aniston get away.
I guess. I don't really know celebrity gossip, but, I mean, what an event. And the final was amazing. Djokovic Alcaraz, the kid won his first Wimbledon.
Anyways,
let's keep going. I'm just bragging about going to Wimbledon.
Right. None of them knew you, though?
Well, no.
Okay. That would have been a great opportunity for you to potentially plug the podcast. That would have all the A-list stars and you're...
Hugh, I need to talk to you, buddy. Come here. Greatest Showman, X-Men, none of that stuff.
I love your work.
Yeah, but we've got a spot for you on our podcast.
Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it sounds like you already know who our first guest is going to be.
Hugh Jackman's here.
Come on. You just see his claws come through the door. I don't know.
I'm out the window if that happens. Hey, do you need to tee up what we're doing here for
I
people
do,
that didn't
yeah.
see the? Okay.
I do. So we're doing something different today. Okay. We're going to do this for the next couple weeks on the podcast. We're going to try something a little bit different. Historically, when we have guests come in for the podcast, you are provided some front end knowledge of who the guest is going to be, and it allows you to do a lot of your prep work.
That's how I come up with all those hard hitting questions that I gear right towards their personality.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I thought that wasn't hard enough for you. Okay. So I thought for the next couple episodes, we would make this a little bit more fun and make it a surprise guest. And I have crafted some riddles, okay?
Oh, God.
To help give you some hints on who this person may be.
Riddles?
Okay? Yeah, I have the riddles for the upcoming guest, okay? They're pretty easy, I think.
Well,
okay?
but if I get the riddle right and it's obvious, then I'm going to know who it is, and then I'm not surprised.
Well, but that's the thing. You're going to actually put this blindfold on. And so when you figure out who it is, or if you don't figure out who it is, you'll take the blindfold off and the guest will magically be sitting in this seat.
Okay, so you're going to read the riddles after they're in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want
that's
you to
better.
have the full level of embarrassment
That's
if you
better.
don't guess it.
Could they say, like, hi, Jeff, and I can see if I
Let's
recognize
see
the
how
voice?
far we need to get down the road on this, okay?
I have a feeling I'm going to fail.
Oh, stop it. anyone that could successfully run with the bulls can surely solve my riddles. That's the standard at which I hold you now.
I hope that's true. I wore my shirt for you today. I figured you might bring that up from the San Fermin
Oh, wow.
Running with the Bulls Festival.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that there, or is that from Target?
Sarah got it there.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's
It's
a
a
gift for
good-looking
me.
shirt, though.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I do like
If
that.
I can survive that, I can survive you.
I don't.
Let's get this
know
show
what that
on the road.
means.
I'm putting this thing on.
Put that on. Here we go. Hurry up and put it on.
Oh, God. All right.
Lord, are you-
What are they
yeah.
going to beat the door
Yeah,
down?
it doesn't come with instructions. What are you?
Thought I had a second. Sorry. Now what are you doing? I'm just sitting here like he's getting ready to punch me in the face. I don't like any of it. I'm putting my dukes up. See that southpaw stance so I can left hook.
Yeah,
there.
just calm down for a minute. You fight one bull and you think you can handle me.
All
Some
right.
of that.
Are we ready
All right.
for this?
All right. The guest is making their way into the studio.
I'm so
Calm
excited.
Down.
I'm so
Calm
excited.
Down. All right. I've tried to give you some hints to this guest, right? Already.
You have?
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it.
I've given him 0 hints, all right?
Oh.
So I guess if you want to slide in just a little bit, and then we can get the mic. We feel pretty good there on the height. We can't really test the mic yet. All right. Jeff, our guest is in the studio.
My
Okay?
heart is actually beating hard. Like, I don't want to mess up somehow. I guess I can't.
No, you can't mess this up.
Okay.
All right, here comes your riddle, okay?
Okay.
This guest
Uh-huh.
came to Earth in the winter of 1988.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The same year floppy disk and Adele came to the Earth. Although originally from the mountain state, you would not quite reach that height with this employee's name. Much like an elf,
I got
though,
it.
this employee works in the shadow of a famous shoe. Who's our guest today?
Okay, wait a second. Famous shoe. Anyways, I was going to say Sarah Beth.
Sarah Beth Hill,
Yes.
who would work in Columbus near the famous horseshoe.
I
Go ahead and
got
take
it,
the
didn't
mask
I?
off.
Hello.
What's up?
You did really well.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I need to give you
I
an
know.
air hug. Right? Good to see you. Wow, you came down from Columbus. Thanks.
I did.
I
All
feel
the
like I
way
just
for
got
you.
up-
you
I just
know?
got it from a nap. That's how I feel.
Well, I just drove 3 hours, so.
Thank you for doing
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
this is
awesome.
fun
That's really
so
cool.
far.
Thank you so much.
So
Did you check out the sign? That's new.
very nice.
Does it
Yeah,
look
I didn't
nice?
notice that on the last podcast
Yeah.
y'all have done because
No.
I have seen it before.
Yeah, it's brand new. So, well, hey, welcome down.
Thank you.
Welcome to the studio here at Impact.
Did you say that you would like to do this whenever we asked the question at the
did
meeting?
not.
You did. He keeps on asking people that really were just like, I'd rather not, and he's like, hey, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that he
can't.
did not share those survey results
No.
with me. So I just assume everyone said yes.
I did too.
No, I definitely I said no, but I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Excited to have you. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited.
So we've had this secret for a while, right? I
yes.
reached out, weeks and weeks ago to
Oh, yeah.
start the process of setting this
been
up.
on the
make
calendar
sure.
a while.
Yeah.
Everybody did a good job.
Yeah.
My wife, I assume yours, people in the
Yeah,
office.
This is no. So Sarah,
thought
let's
Danielle
start
knew
with
also.
this. All
Yes.
right, as an introduction, Sarah Beth Hill, originally from the Huntington, West Virginia
That's
area.
right. Go Herd.
Go Herd. Now in Columbus.
In Columbus.
How long have you been in the Columbus area?
I think it's been almost 6 years now.
6 years, okay.
Yeah, in the fall it'll be 6.
Wow, so 6 years.
Yeah.
You're a registered nurse with
Yes.
Village Caregiving.
Yes.
For how long?
One
One?
and a few change. Like
Okay.
yeah, May.
One.
I think no March. I think March or May was my 1 year.
Okay, cool. So you've been here about a year. So you work in the clinical side, and so you and my wife Danielle work together, right?
Very closely, yes.
I did not tell Danielle who the guests are, which is,
Oh.
I kept it very secret. So but I worried because I thought at some point there's going to be a
So
conversation.
I wonder if I said something.
Yeah, no, I asked and she had no
Uh-huh.
idea. So great job on everyone keeping the secret. Hopefully over the next couple of weeks, the secrets remain strong. We'll see what happens. But
What is it? A secret in your office in Columbus? How did you tell them you were going to take the day off?
Hunter gave me a little bit of attitude, but I set him straight.
Oh.
I know. No, I told him once before that I was coming down here. So
Okay.
I hope that's
Yeah.
okay. I swore them to secrecy though,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
they would not.
I think they've done a great job.
They
So you
have,
really
yes.
didn't know?
I didn't. I got the
Perfect.
riddle though,
Yeah, you did get the riddle.
and I know your birthday too. It's February the 2nd.
It is, yeah. We were talking about that.
Yeah,
So he said winter of '88. That would have taken me a second.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 months though, man. That's
I
pretty
know.
tough.
I know.
Yeah.
I
A
know.
lot of people work here, you know.
Yeah.
And a
I
couple of
understand.
February 2nd birthdays.
Chris Atkins is the same birthday.
Went to school
Who
together, yeah.
met you out
See,
here?
we
Birthday
kind of
twins.
thought you would. We were talking out there, and we're like, he may guess Chris because he knows Chris is here. And when I say the February the 2nd,
I was prepared for that trick. It crossed my mind.
Didn't pull it over on you, huh?
Yeah,
No,
Chris is-
you got me. Okay, let's learn about Sarah Beth.
Yeah. So, Sarah, start with this. How do you know the people of Village Caregiving? What was your connection? Because when you came to Village Caregiving, you were not necessarily a stranger to the organization.
No, I knew quite a few.
Okay, who all did you know?
Well, Emily first texted me or called me.
This
and
is Emily Massetti
Emily Massetti
in our Cincinnati
yes,
office.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So she originally called me and said, "Hey, what do you know about this Corey guy? Like, is he a nice guy? Because Philip is maybe going to work with him." And I said, "Oh, no, I love him. His wife, Molly, we went to school together." Kind of went that. And then when Emily came on in the Cincinnati office, I told her, "All right, let me know. There's a full-time in Columbus. I'm coming on." And then when you all went to the Greenbrier, I looked at the picture and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know lots of people with Village." I had no idea I knew so many. And then Leanne Woda, I've known her a long time. She sang in Renaissance with my parents. So
Everyone has heard Leanne sing except us.
oh, it's beautiful.
That's what I've heard.
Next Christmas party.
She keeps that a secret, doesn't
Oh,
she?
she does.
But
She's pretty.
So I remember at the time when we heard this rumor that someone from back home is in Columbus and is going to go work at the office. Everyone's like, "Well, who is it?" And your name kept popping up, and everyone knew you, and was super excited about that. So that was a little over a year ago, and since that point, you've been at our Columbus office. And who all works in the Columbus office with you?
So we have Hunter. He is our executive director.
Okay.
And then Joe is our director of operations. And then Leah is kind of like a marketer, but she also helps with schedules too. So it is the four of us now.
Cool. And you guys have been there in the Columbus office. You are near Ohio State University.
Yes, we are.
They're right there in the tailgate area. I remember one time Austin, who's been on the podcast before, told a story that he decided to take an Uber from his apartment in Columbus to the Horseshoe for a tailgate.
Yeah.
But it dropped him off like a block from his house because it wouldn't go any further. So he just ended up being at our office. So,
really?
it's pretty close. Yeah,
It's very close. It's like one exit away on the interstate. So
yeah,
it's
so,
good.
So you're in Columbus and you're working. Columbus, we've talked about on the podcast before. Columbus is a huge office for Village Caregiving. We have a massive service area there. A ton of clients, ton of staff. But we'll get to your role there. But tell us a little bit about from being back here. A little bit about your family, your connections to the Barbersville, Huntington area.
So I'm born and raised Huntington, family, grandparents, great-grandparents. My great-grandfather was one of the first interns at St. Mary's. So we are pretty firm here, here in Huntington. And I went to Marshall School of Nursing, was in a sorority, went to church at Fifth Avenue Baptist. So when I moved away, it was a big whoa.
Sure.
I don't know about this, Sarah Beth. Come on home. But I stayed. But yeah, I love Huntington. We come back a lot because my son's 10 and my niece and nephew are 10 and 6. So we come back a lot.
I see.
Love it here.
Cool. Yeah. So when you were in Columbus and you were looking for an organization to join, you were in nursing. We were coming out of the pandemic about a year ago, so it was still hanging on there. But you were making a career change. What was it about Village Caregiving besides Emily Massetti, which we paid her well to recruit? I'm kidding.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
But what was it about the organization? Was it just the people that you knew? What was it that kind of drew you to us?
You know, I've worked in the hospital, home health, hospice, and I loved it. But the environment of Village is just so different than anything I'd worked for before. I mean, not to kind of get gushy with it, but we were all friends. I mean, when I met them, we instantly got along. We were joking, and it was just such a different environment than what I'm used to. I mean, a lot of the times when you work in nursing for a while, there's you get a lot of mashing personalities, and it was just different with Village. I'd done my homework. I talked to Leanne, talked to Emily, a few other people too, and they loved it. And I thought, well, if they like it, I think I'll like it too. And it just, from day one, it's been good. It's been really good. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
I never thought I could be this happy with a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
that's really cool to hear. We talk often about culture and about what makes Village Caregiving different from people that are in the same, I think, arena that we're in. And I always point to the Columbus office as an example of, you guys just have a great time when you're there. Yeah, I mean, we've been up several times. It's a cool place to go hang out with people. But when you came in, I mean, it was very early on that you really set up some processes and really just kind of streamlined a lot of the clinical side and became.
I couldn't wait.
And you've done a great job with that. What has that process been like for you as a nurse inside the organization? What's that experience like for you?
Ooh, so I've always been used to the hands-on care. So going in, seeing clients, actually caring for them right there. So this was very different because I had to learn to get all of my get all of my questions answered on the phone and figure out the best way to set everything up. And, Austin and Hunter did a great job before me, but, when I came on, I was really able to take a lot of that and put it into those categories to where it all makes sense. It's easy to find, quick to sort through. And when I finally got through like the first list of clients, it's like, oh, well, I know everybody now. I can,
Sure.
I will make little notes next to some, that I really like talking to. But just being able to get to talk to all these clients, and they're usually older and they usually want to talk for a while, which is fun too. I'm a talker. So I don't know. I really kind of took the bull by the horns on that one and just figured out the best process and how to sort everything.
Awesome.
It's a lot of information in Columbus.
A lot of times, this podcast is seen by people that are looking to join our organization. Recently, we're expanding in places like Quincy, Illinois, Johnson City, Tennessee. And so the candidates that are looking to join this organization are finding the podcast on our social media pages and getting some hints about our culture, about what makes us different. What do you tell someone if they call today and ask you, like kind of what you asked Leanne or what you asked Emily, is this a good organization? Or what would you tell them are the things that you find most attractive about here?
Ooh. I think the flexibility is a big deal, especially in our office. I have a 10-year-old. I'm a single mom, like he gets sick or, something happens. And I love knowing that I can still do this job and be a mom too.
Yeah.
I can still get everything done that I need to do and not feel like I'm neglecting my child and being able to communicate. I think, the first time I came in for the interview, it was Austin and Hunter because it was going to be the three of us. We were going to be, this unit, and we had to be able to get along and kind of testing out those personalities. I'm sure every office is different, but when I've met everyone, there isn't, some animosity towards anybody. Like everybody just tends to kind of get along. And I know that there are, problems that come, but being able to have the tools to sort through all of those problems. Sure. And, a lot of the regional meetings we have and some of the PowerPoints that we get to go through, they're beneficial because it deals with everyday problems. And I think being able to fall back on that and kind of look through some of those notes on how to deal with the everyday issues, that's going to be what really gets you through it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask one more question and I'm going to shut up. So I hope you got your long list of prepared questions.
There's more?
Well, I didn't know who it was, but I'll do my best.
A challenge of any organization, especially one that has grown to our size, is communication, right? Anytime that we're having a challenge within an office, you can usually tie that back to communication. People quit talking or assumptions are made or whatever the case is. Columbus has had this unique ability to avoid that lack of communication or that failure of communication where there is stress or tension within the office because of that. And you said you like to communicate, right?
Yeah.
You're a talker.
You know what I'm thinking. So.
Yeah. But I think a lot of times, especially back when it was Hunter and Austin there, they can tend to be quiet guys. I mean, Austin you spend a lot more time with him in an office than I have.
Yeah.
How do you guys keep communication healthy in an office?
Well, kind of on the business side of it, we have our own log that we keep every day. So if somebody calls in, if Joe's talking to him, he's writing it down and I can see what it is. So that way I know if I need to address it, and we kind of put off to the side like who needs to follow up on what. So it's a nice little checklist, and we know about each other's lives. Hunter just got married, and Leah's a newlywed. Like we become friends. We make time to not just do the business side. We want to get to know each other too. We used to go to lunch every Friday at Barrio, so we always make sure to get everything at work done too, but you have to have that play side where it's, you can have those relationships and have it not be as stuffy. So I think that's the thing. I mean, Hunter comes up with Brown's trivia every day, to see. Day. Yeah, and then Leah and I are both guessing random guesses. And
giraffe.
I do pretty well, honestly. I answer chubby for most of the questions, and it's never it. But yeah, I mean, I think having that balance is the best.
Cool. Awesome. Jeff?
Yeah. Let me see. Why did you go into nursing? And I want the real answer too. I just don't want to hear just because it was a compassionate thing, right?
I have it.
You know why I went into accounting?
Wow.
I was there at orientation and I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just checked the first thing in alphabetical order, and I never changed it. That's the truth. So there's my real truth.
Yeah.
What's that?
So thank goodness it worked out.
Okay.
There's my real truth.
There's the truth of accounting, right? So why did you go into nursing?
It was my anatomy class, Willie Wilson, Huntington High School.
Really?
That was, yeah.
What was it about Mr. Wilson's class that...
Well, he was also at Camp Cowan. It's a Baptist church camp, and I knew him from there, and I knew that he taught at Huntington High, and I took his anatomy class, and the student teacher was one of my old counselors, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's awesome. She's telling me all this stuff. And when I talked to my counselor, she said, well, have you ever thought about nursing? And my uncle's a doctor and my aunt's a nurse. And I thought, well, yeah, I kind of like it. And
had some family in the medical field.
And
though, anatomy is generally more so about memorization, right?
Yeah.
And as far as which nugget of the brain it's tickling.
Yes, but also knowing how everything works together too. I thought that was really cool.
Interested in the human body itself.
I did. And I did a report on necrotizing fasciitis, and I thought it was so cool. And
my mom,
flesh-eating bacteria.
It sounds pretty serious. That's a serious one.
It is.
My mom had anatomy books laying around the house when I was a kid, and it was my favorite thing in the world to flip through those books and the color-coded sections. I spent hours looking at that. I really relate to that.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. Do you think you'll live in Columbus the rest of your life?
Oh, it's a deep one. I don't know. Probably for the next at least 8 years till Roman turns 18. I don't know. I mean, we've toyed with a few other places, but
is the thought of like just move to say California?
No.
Is that something that would excite you or just stress you out? Like brand new place, don't know anybody.
Well, I think Cali would stress me out, but when I moved here, I didn't know a ton of people, so and I think I do pretty well with making new friends. I could do it. I could definitely do it. But I'm already so far away from my family, so I don't know. Where would you go anywhere?
Yeah, I probably will later in life.
Yeah, different country? Or?
Although I'll say I'm not sure I'm going to really enjoy it. It makes me a little
nervous?
Nervous thinking about it.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, number 3. I'm on fire now.
Oh, he's going now.
So you are a friendly person, extroverted personality, it seems, smile and laugh a lot, easy to get along with. Were you always like that as a little kid? Were you shy, or were you always the kid in class that was...
I always talked. I loved kind of going out on my own. Like I could go to a camp by myself and be all right. So
I wonder why that is. Your parents make you that way, or you're just born like that?
Oh, my dad. My dad is definitely very outgoing and doesn't know a stranger. And
so you're patterning those behaviors.
I talk like my mom, but very similar personalities with my dad.
I think that my daughter is doing the same thing with Me and Sarah, she's very outgoing. Yeah.
Well, wasn't your dad like a bit of a local hero?
He was hometown hero. It was in the newspaper.
What did he do?
Military. He was overseas for a while and then went to war college at Pentagon, and yeah.
Cool.
He's done a lot. He's got a really cool life.
Thanks to him.
Need to have him on next.
Absolutely. Don't ruin the surprise.
Gosh, he would talk forever.
Did he drive down with you?
We just had lunch. I could call him real quick.
What? Mr. Hill?
Yeah.
Mr.
Well,
Hill.
General Hill. So-
General Hill.
Dr. Hill too. That
Wow.
gotta
God,
get
this
that
is
in
the
there.
most accomplished man I've ever
I'm
heard.
telling-
We cannot
he's
have him on
someone.
here.
I will clam up. I won't know what to say.
This man has done too much.
He really has, actually. Seriously. I mean,
He has. But.
It's really awesome. Well, Sarah, if you have been a partaker of the podcast at all, you understand that there's a segment that's to come that is sometimes a crowd favorite. Other times it leads us into not, I don't think, anatomy books, but probably psychology books of the future. And that would be Jeff's Thoughts in the Fishbowl. Are you familiar with this?
So no.
No. Okay.
I didn't
well,
watch that part of
I
the
got
podcast.
you. So how the fishbowl works is Jeff takes random thoughts that pass through his brain at different times in different places, and puts those in his phone. And then occasionally he'll pull some of those out and he'll drop them into the fishbowl. I select them at random, read them out loud, and then we just kind of discuss them. Okay.
Okay.
He has suggested things in the past like, will humans develop a retractable umbrella that's part of our body?
Speaking of anatomy, put that in the new
So I was
book.
about to say, it might be up my alley.
I'm writing a future anatomy book.
So,
Oh gosh.
so what we're going to do, we're just going to pull one of these out of here and just see what happens, okay? Let me ask you a question. As a person that really studied a lot of anatomy and such growing up, why don't people try to meet a boyfriend or girlfriend at a medical school instead of at a bar? Seems like a logical question. Think about that for a moment. Everyone always goes to the bar to meet their
Usually,
significant
yes.
You're a college kid.
Yeah.
You're trying to meet people at the bars on Thursday, Friday night. That can be fun, I guess. But you're talking, if you want a serious relationship, maybe not the best place to shop. I'm saying, go to
Med school.
Yeah. You don't have to be in the med school. Just go hang out in the lobby. Be a little bit of a weirdo move.
Yeah.
But you play it off just right, and all of a sudden you're dating, a career-focused, strong, independent person.
Yeah.
Who knows what you're getting at the bar? Nobody's got this idea yet?
Well, you could go to a bar close to the med school.
Okay.
Or close to the
Oh,
the
no,
law
no.
school.
You
or,
wanna be-
you
you
know,
don't wanna-
You don't want to be in the bar, whether there's a med school next to it.
Okay.
It's not the place to meet.
Are
if
we-
you want a lasting relationship.
Are we specific on the med school? It couldn't be any.
No, it could be anywhere.
any nicer profession.
Yes,
that's,
well, or something you respect. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
about money, but maybe the library. That's a place that could work out.
Lots of
Grocery
people
store. Really, I think it's anywhere except the bar.
Except the
but
bar.
that's the basement level.
Okay.
Then you go up from there, but that is the most common place.
Did I ever tell you that Daniel and I met at a bar? I'm just kidding.
I know that can't be true.
Do you have thoughts on this?
Well, I met Joe when he was working and I was working, so it was at an assisted living facility. So I do see what you
Yeah.
mean about that.
Avoiding.
But also at a bar, most people are willing to talk and you get to know people a little bit more. So maybe having that little bit of liquid courage kind of helps people come out of their shell.
Aha.
I think that's a big part of it. You're on to the right track right there.
Maybe second date needs to not be at a bar.
No, you can't meet them there.
You got to meet them.
I'm adamant on this part.
Where did you meet your wife?
Well, we just kind of knew each other from work. I don't have a great story on that.
It was a
one.
bar, wasn't it?
He's just trying to keep it from us.
No, it was not. But I had a younger friend, and he was wanting a relationship.
Yeah.
He was have these, on and off relationships. I said, listen, here's what you got to do, man. Go down to Marshall, go in the engineering school, strike up a nice conversation, ask somebody to dinner. why not start there?
Yeah. What kept you from starting there when you were in college?
I was an idiot, young. You don't learn this stuff until later on, or you have somebody like me tell you when you're a kid. So if you're out there, youngins, I'm giving you pearls here.
Don't go to the bar. Go to the engineer school.
That's right.
You just referred to a generation as youngins.
Well, that's my right now. It's an old man.
Get you a sip of coffee, Paul.
Somebody bring me a crossword
Don't hurt
puzzle.
yourself right now. Just
Oh, my hands are stiff.
Well, Sarah,
Okay.
honestly, we can't thank you enough for coming down. It is.
appreciate
It's
it.
always amazing how fast time goes when we're on here. I feel like we could do 9 or 10 segments with you. You're so easy to talk to. One of my favorite things about coming to Columbus is when we can all go eat chicken or
Love
go
it.
eat tacos
Yes.
and hang out.
The coop.
yes,
it's so
crispy
good.
coop.
Yeah.
Let me add.
Shout out.
You know, I didn't get to be very serious with my questions, but
Oh,
it is
yes.
common knowledge at the office that you are one of the best, top-notch nurses, and not even just nurses, honestly, just employees all the way around in the entire company, nationwide. I really mean that.
Make me
I'm
blush
not
now.
just saying that, am I?
No,
that
I mean,
gets
if you were
said a
picking
lot.
if you were picking a brand ambassador for Village Caregiving, like you're going to use Sarah Beth. I mean, she's just overly positive, always excellent at what she's doing. It's a huge compliment to even have you here because you do such a great job. And I say this sometimes, but I really mean it. The folks in Columbus, our staff and our clients there are just as lucky as they can be to have
Yeah.
you. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
I mean that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
their
very
lives
sweet.
are better because you're involved in it, and I really do mean that. And that's why we wanted to have you down today. It's just to showcase that.
Also, favorite movie? Go.
Pride and Prejudice.
Wow, spit that one out fast. Favorite book?
Ooh.
I was wondering if you're going to say the same thing.
I know. Well, I just read Verity. I don't know if y'all have read that. It's a good one. It's like a weird thriller, but Colleen Hoover. It's very good.
Okay.
Anything
All-time-
Colleen Hoover is good.
Shout out.
Yeah.
All-time favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh. I love Desperate Housewives or anything Bravo. Can I just say Bravo?
Okay.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Awesome. Sarah Beth, again, thank you so much for coming down. We really, really appreciate it. Jeff, did you have any other questions?
Well, I'll save those for Sarah Beth another day.
Sure. Awesome.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming down and
Yeah.
surprising us. That was cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.